Okay, I think we're live now on this one. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare that was. I set up a link for the next month's live stream and started streaming there instead of this one. Hopefully by now you can see me and you don't just see me staring at my computer. Guys, if you can hear me, see me, do let me know. That will mean that I finally got this working. Yes, I got it fixed. Rapper, you said Montana from the group. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope we haven't missed, like people haven't come and then decided like, oh, Chris has just clearly broke his thing. Let's disappear. So I'll be here for about an hour today. If you have questions, if you have comments, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, please do let me know in the chat below and we'll get this all figured out. Otherwise, I will just completely ramble on. I will tell you about my week. It's been a good week. I'm in a place in my life where everything is kind of calm and content and happy. And I'm aware, you know, I talk all the time about, you know, everything passes and that includes the good things, but that's okay. You know, I'm not sort of, we can get into this thing of everything's going well. Oh my goodness, when are things going to go wrong for me? You know, and then we're sabotaging those moments. We end up sabotaging these moments of happiness and contentment, always looking ahead. Where I think, you know, the idea is to, you know, just embrace where we are now. So good, still smoking, but still trying. That's all we can do is just keep trying. You will find a way. You know, if what's not working, if you keep trying the same thing, it's not working, maybe try something else, try a different strategy, a different tool, a different technique. You will get there. The goal for quitting smoking is not to have a flawless quit. It's not to do it perfectly. I think the one thing that is fundamental to a successful quit is to keep trying until you get it, and you will get it. I had the exact same thing when I quit smoking. It wasn't just that I decided one day to quit smoking and never smoked again. There was one attempt, one failure, one attempt, one failure, and eventually, you know, I learned from all of those failed attempts and kind of brought different bits and pieces together rather than going, I'm going to like put everything into this one method for quitting smoking. I'm going to bring, you know, well, this little bit here works, but also this kind of little bit, and bring it together. Veronica, good evening. Hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very happy. There goes my phone. I'm very well, thank you. I've had a wonderful week. I was just saying I'm very happy, content and calm at the minute. Things are going quite well for me. Veronica, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well as well. Hopefully a few more people will show up. Not that I'm not very happy to have you both with me. I don't know if you were here, Veronica, but I completely messed up getting the live stream started. I was streaming on the wrong page and everything was just a total disaster. But we're here now, so we're going to get this thing going. Veronica, I never smoked again after that one time I told you about. That's excellent, Veronica. I'm so pleased for you. That is wonderful. Melissa, hi Christopher. Happy Saturday. Still on my quit, but I don't know what day I'm on. How are you? Well, I'm so glad that you're still on your quit, and I think that's an amazing thing when we reach that point where, I'm sorry, I'm just going to put my phone on silent. That's an amazing thing when we reach that point where we don't know what day we're on, because it means we're no longer focusing on quitting smoking or on our relationship to cigarettes. It means cigarettes are no longer part of our lives anymore. It means we're just getting on with getting on with life as a non-smoker. You know, like people who've never smoked don't kind of go around going, well, it's been day 8 million or whatever since I last had a cigarette. They just get on with the day, and that's the goal to get into. You know, I couldn't count the days for me now, and I wouldn't want to. As for your question, Melissa, how am I? I am very, very well. I'm very happy, very content, very at peace, very, very glad that I got the live stream figured out, because it all went to hell when I first started. So I was a few minutes late, but I am here now. And as I said earlier, if anyone has questions, if anyone has comments, if anyone has anything at all that they would like me to talk about, bring it on, because I haven't really planned much of anything, as I probably should. I should probably at least figure out something to bring to these live streams, but I kind of like to just react to whatever's going on in the chat and just kind of keep talking, which, as you know, I can do for ages and ages and ages. Going back to what I was just talking about being an oh sorry, I'm Melissa. I'll reply to your thing now actually, because I was just going to ramble on something. Do you have cravings from time to time? And then I try to think about what it is I really want. Realize it's not cigarettes. No, it never is. I don't think it's. If we get a craving, I think all we really want is to, at most, or at least all we want is to end the craving. But there's, a million one ways to do that, including just letting that craving pass. Most cravings don't tend to last very long. I seem to remember reading, most cravings are about 5 minutes, may go up to at maximum 20 minutes, and then they pass. And sometimes what we want isn't even a craving, it's some other kind of discomfort or something else going on in our lives, and I don't like this feeling and I want to change the way that I feel. And then, we condition ourselves so much over time to go, well, if I want to change the way I feel, a cigarette will do that. But then how long does it do it for? Would we smoke, what is it, like 5 minutes maximum for a slightly different change of feeling, and then we just go back to feeling the way that we felt, and then create more discomfort for ourselves because that nicotine builds up, creates another craving, and on and on and on and on and on that endless cycle will go. And I was saying in the video that I posted yesterday, and by the way, if anyone hasn't seen the video that I posted yesterday, it's because I only posted it. I was up ridiculously late last night, so it didn't get posted until like 2 a.m. It was all about anxiety and dealing with anxiety whilst trying to quit smoking. And I came up with what I hope is going to be a useful plan for people with anxiety, but I would appreciate some feedback if people think it's helpful, not helpful, it could be tweaked. Totally forgotten the original thought that I had in my head. What was I going to say? Damn. Yeah, about changing the way that we feel. And about we try and self-medicate with cigarettes, and I very much question how helpful that is. If we are, oh, thank you, Veronica. If we are crawling with anxiety, and it's like, I'm so anxious, and I can't cope with this, and it's terrible, and I need to go and have a cigarette, and I question, does that cigarette actually do anything for the anxiety, or do we just have anxiety and a cigarette? That's why I talk all the time about, well, I say all the time, talk quite a bit about people chain smoking. Something traumatic may happen, some big, huge thing that just rocks people to their core. And then over time, we've got into this mindset of, well, cigarettes will help me to deal with the stress. Cigarettes will help me to change the way I feel. So I have a cigarette. Well, I still feel exactly the same. So I'm going to have to have another cigarette. So you light up another one and another one and another one, and reach the sometimes not even reach the conclusion that no amount of cigarettes in the world are going to change this feeling. We're still going to feel exactly the way that we, felt originally. It's just that now we've got lungs full of tar and poison and are closer to an early death, which is not good. K Lemon, what's up? What's up to you, K Lemon? How are you doing? I'm so glad that you are here with us. Hope your life is treating you kindly. I'm going to take a sip of my tea from the world's biggest mug. Pretty much everyone in England has one of these Sports Direct mugs. Nobody knows where they come from. I mean, Sports Direct, obviously, but I've never been there. They just seem to be in every single home. They are massive. The tea's really nice. It's like chamomile and some other stuff that
somebody gave me when I went to a shop. They gave me this free gift. I've had it in the shop in the cupboard. So I'm gonna drink that with you. I'm gonna chat to you about quitting smoking, about mental health, about anything that you guys want to talk about, because I tend to do these live streams mainly for you, although I get a great deal of, that was a huge ass mug, isn't it? A huge ass mug. It's enormous. I can fit an awful lot of tea into this mug. Kaylin says, your videos were so integral to sticking with quitting smoking. I'm so glad about that. I really am. You know, that I'm glad for two reasons. One, that you found something that was helpful in my videos that helped on your journey. Every time I get a comment like that, I always see it and appreciate it, even if, you know, it's in the comments to a video and I don't always reply to them. I always love getting comments like that because it keeps me turning up in front of my camera every week and trying to figure out the best thing that I can say for people who are quitting smoking. You know, and I've said before so many times in these live streams that as long as people are finding them helpful, I will keep doing them. I also want to say that what I'm also glad about is that, you know, you said integral to my sticking with quitting smoking. So I'm glad for you that you have stuck with your quits, you know, and that is awesome. I'm curious as to how long you've stuck with it for, not for any other reason than literally just, it's always fun to figure out where people are on their journey and, you know, celebrate those successes. You know, even a day is a huge success, and then we multiply those days. As I was just saying a little bit earlier, we reach a point where we stop counting the days, we stop counting the weeks and the months, and we just get on with life the way that non-smokers get on with life. We have no relationship to cigarettes anymore, other than them being something that is a part of our past. And as we grow along our journey, I think we become different people. We're no longer defined by, I have to figure out when I'm going to smoke, where the heck is my lighter, do I have to light a cigarette on the stove and burn my hair, all of those kind of things. Bogdan Marguerite, did I pronounce that properly? I have no idea, please correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks for the videos, I watched your channel a lot back when I quit. I'm now 7 months free. That is awesome. 7 months is a long time. I'm so pleased for you. Keep up the good work. Whatever you've been doing has been clearly working for you. Stick with that. What kind of tea do I drink? Sometimes I'm English, so I'll just drink a normal cup of English tea. Quite often I like to drink a cup of chamomile tea. It really relaxes, especially before I go to bed. It just kind of just relaxes me a bit. This that is in this cup, I was going to bring the thing out in case anybody asked me this. There's a shop across the street from me. I always call it the hippie shop. So I'll go in to buy nice things, and I bought something. They gave me this tea bag as a free gift. It's got chamomile and some other stuff in it. I just know it's stupidly tasty. 78 days, that's beyond great. That's incredible. 78 days will soon be 79, will soon be 80. You're getting up there, Melissa. Keep on going. Whatever you, like, again, as I just said, you know, whatever you're doing is clearly working, so keep doing that. I scoured for information to help explain what I was feeling when I quit. You were the only one that humanized the experience. You know, companies try their best to suppress this kind of info. Well, wow, 1 year and 9 months. Love it. That is awesome. Keep on going. Although I feel like there's no turning back for you now. You've got this. If you're 1 year, 9 months, you've got this. And I'm so glad that I was able to humanize the experience for you, as you say, and you know, make it relatable. Sounds like I need to change my alarm. Yeah, I have a problem with my smoke alarm, and I've been meaning to fix it for like a week. I need to get a step ladder. That's really distracting, isn't it? Guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go and close the door. It might just drown that sound out.
There we go. It's funny, I was talking about someone about that this morning, and it totally didn't occur to me that it might disrupt the live stream. What I was going to say about humanizing the experience is, I am really glad I can do that, and I think for me it's the only way that I can do that, because when I started this YouTube channel for a long time, I had nothing to go off beyond my own experience. I'll still say today, I am an expert on nothing beyond my own experience. I've obviously learned a lot of things, because the more I started doing these videos, the more people started asking me stuff, and it got me really interested, so I started learning. Of course, I now have my therapy qualifications, and I did the smoking cessation practitioner's course a month or two back. So I know a bit more now, but everything still comes from, this is just my experience. This is what quitting smoking was like for me. It's what it's like for other people that I've met along my journey. Nevi, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Michelle, hi Chris, love your channel. Hi Michelle, well, glad to have you with us. How are you doing? I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Summer is ending, turning into fall. It's getting a little bit chillier, but it's also getting a little bit, I like the autumn, or fall, as my American friends would call it. Yeah, I hope it's been a wonderful weekend for all of you and that you're doing really well. Again, as always, if there's anything for me to talk about, bring it on. Otherwise, I will just come up with stuff off the top of my head. And I'll keep saying this tea is really nice. Something that I did want to talk to you all about now that you're all here is I have a question for you, and I need your feedback. There's that alarm, that's going to distract the heck out of me. I have a question for you, and I want your input and feedback on something. So I did the anxiety video yesterday, and I was sat literally here just writing about it, and I've lost the note that I made, never mind. And I was writing down the part where I talk about how some people find quitting smoking ridiculously easy. They quit first time, they absolutely crush it, it is not a problem. Other people find it incredibly difficult. Other people find it so hard, they try and try and try and try and try and never quite get there. And I've said this so many times in so many videos, and yet I've always just said, well, it's because there's a myriad of factors going on. There's a multitude of personal circumstances and past history and health conditions and all this that contributes. But I'm curious about whether we can find some kind of commonalities and find what is it about the people who find it ridiculously easy compared to the people who find it ridiculously, sorry, I'm just laughing about the alarm, compared to the people who find it ridiculously difficult. So what I want to do is put together some kind of survey and ask you all about your experiences of quitting smoking, whether you found it difficult, whether you found it easy, what you did as part of your quit. I'm really curious to see if I can find some commonalities. So I want to ask you, if I put that survey together, would you be willing to help me and fill it in for me? And is there anything in particular that you would like me to include or think about? Getting back to the comments, on your dog walk and remembered my live stream, sitting on the local rep while the dog runs around. Nice, that's awesome. It's really good to just get out and walk the dog. I was away for a week with my family just like last week and spent so much time walking the dog, getting a lot of fresh air, getting a little bit of exercise, and of course just being with those beautiful creatures is really helpful as well. There's a thing called oxytocin we get when we spend time with our animals that makes us feel good. So walking the dog is always awesome. Yeah, the alarm. Guys, I'm sorry if that alarm gets distracting. I am so sorry. I've been off my game in terms of I need to get that fixed. Hi Jan, how are you doing? It's always good to see you every single month. I hope you're doing well. Hope your journey is going fine. Nevi, I'm away and returning home tomorrow. I love the idea of walking through my front door and not being a smoker, but I haven't done any prep
Need to listen to the anxiety video, fearful of a false start. Yeah, obviously it would be awesome to walk through that door. I've done it. I hope the anxiety is helpful for you, because what I was talking about is sometimes we can get anxiety about anxiety. Oh my goodness, if I'm going to quit smoking, I might feel more anxious. Oh my goodness, I might not get this right, and then if I don't get it right, then something else bad's going to happen, and maybe I'll feel like a failure. Maybe I'll feel like the effort wasn't worth it. But what I want to say, just something that's come into my mind as I've been talking, Nevi, is I don't think there's any such thing as a false start when it comes to quitting smoking. I think there's only a start. That day when you decide, okay, I'm going to give quitting smoking a serious try, that is the start. And then if there is a relapse down the way, that's another learning opportunity. That's a chance to look back and say, well, this was helpful, but that wasn't so helpful, so I'll do more of this and less of that. But I do understand, I absolutely get it, when you're fearful of a false start. Okay, I want to get this right first time, because I'm so sick of smoking, I don't want to have to keep trying and failing. I just want to nail it. And once we start, that journey is underway. I was saying this at the start of the live stream. It took me ages to quit smoking. So many attempts, so many misfires, until I finally figured out what worked for me. And I consider, my first attempt was the start of the journey. You want to think about quitting as a journey rather than something that has like a start and finish. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Where am I up to with the comments? I've just replied to Nevi. Melissa, I think having the right mentality when approaching smoking will be a major commonality. Absolutely, I agree. If you go back to my early videos when I had the really long hair, I was saying, the one thing that made the most difference to successfully quitting smoking wasn't patches, pills, potions, lotions, wasn't a book, although I have a book and it's awesome. It wasn't any one tool or technique. It was getting into the right frame of mind, getting into the mindset of, not only can I do this, but I deserve to do this, and I'm worthy of this, and I no longer need to self-sabotage. I feel bad, so I'm going to pollute and choke myself, and all of those things. Where am I back up to? K Lemon, that's an interesting area to explore. I found it difficult. Yes, I would do the survey. Melissa, sounds like a great idea. Chris, I'll participate in the survey. Thank you so much. That's 2 people will get to do the survey, so we'll have a sample size of 2 at least to begin with. Jan says, yes, I'm doing great now. 9 months thanks to you and all your videos. I watch you every day. You saved my life. Oh, Jan, that genuinely does mean so much to me. I am so delighted for you. Congratulations on your 9 months. I hope there's going to be many more to come for you. This journey is going to keep getting better, and I am so grateful that you allowed me to be part of your journey through the videos. Nevi, which chapters in your book to start to prepare? Originally, let's talk about the book. Why not, right? Originally, the first chapter in this book was about preparing to quit smoking, and for some reason, I changed it and took the first chapter of the book and published it online. Nevi, I think you're part of our group, aren't you? Finding Freedom. I wrote an article. The first chapter of this book, I posted an article posted it as an article. I will post the article in Finding Freedom. That has some very basic, here's a few things you might want to do to prepare to quit smoking. I would say, honestly, the whole first chapter, the whole first section of the book, if you haven't read the book, it's divided into a couple of parts. The first part is called The Journey Begins, and it's all about
beginning the journey, preparing, planning, getting into the right mindset to quit smoking. Then it goes on to talk about part 2 is cravings and withdrawals. Part 3 is sleep and other problems. Part 4 is about developing your journey as a non-smoker. Oh no, sorry. Part 4 is about relapses and recovery. You think I'd know that, right? Part 5 is about life after smoking. So in order to prepare to quit smoking, I would say read the article that I'll post in Finding Freedom, and also the first section of the book is going to be helpful. I'm going to ask you another question now, all of you. Would it be helpful to you if I made another video just about the book and it sort of explained the best way to use it, or how you might want to use it, and sort of talk you through where you might get the most benefit from it? If not, that's fine. I'm just thinking out loud. And by the way, available in print and ebook form from Amazon.com. I've lost track of comments. Where am I up to? So I just replied to Nevi, didn't I? Michelle, I gave up for 3 months and then stupidly started again. Currently suffering with anxiety with stopping again. Michelle, I've lost track a little bit. Did you say you'd seen the video that I posted yesterday? If not, that might be the best thing to do, because that video is all about quitting smoking whilst dealing with anxiety, and particularly about dealing with anxiety about quitting smoking. So hopefully you may find that helpful. That said, anxiety is such a huge thing, and I'm noticing more and more. The more people that I speak to in the Facebook group, the more people I speak to in the comments, the more people that come to me for one-to-one support. Anxiety is a major issue. So I'm going to do more. I will do more of that. Maybe not next week, but there is more to come. Thank you. Couldn't have done it without Chris. Oh, but Jan, again, I'm so glad. Melissa Cheshire's here. I love the older videos. I'm so pleased. I think the older videos are especially helpful to people because that's when I was first getting started and I was able to tackle the really big subjects. Now as time goes on, we're kind of breaking things down a bit more. Still coming up with new ideas, but I think some of the older videos are definitely helpful. Michelle will also do it. That gives us a sample size of 3. Veronica will also do it, but you don't have Facebook, Veronica. That's completely fine. I think I'm going to do Google surveys or something like that. So I'll put that together. I will announce it here on. I may just do a video to tell you about it, but of course I will post it in other places. Melissa, your book is awesome. I need to leave a comment about it. Yes, please. If you have read, this is just turning into one long plug for the book, but who cares? If you have read Quit Smoking and Be Happy and you have found it helpful, and you can go to Amazon.com and leave a review, that would help me tremendously. Like if you wanted to thank me in any way for anything that I might have done, that is definitely one of the best ways to do that is to leave a comment. Best way to use please video. Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to do that this week. That saves me thinking about what I'm going to have to do the video about. I'll do this coming week. The next video I make will be about how to use Quit Smoking and Be Happy. And I promise you I'll stop flashing this thing at you, at least until the end of the live stream. Michelle will watch it. I'm now starting Defiant Sniper. Hi Defiant Sniper, great to see you. Hope you're doing well. By the way guys, if any of you have come in and said hi to me and I haven't said hi back, I'm incredibly rude. I have been following the chat, but sometimes I miss people. If that is you, I am not trying to be rude. Just say hi to me again and I'll definitely say hi to you. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. I'm now starting to lose the weight. A lot easier putting, oh it always is. It's all, yeah, putting weight on is always easier than taking it off, but easier but not impossible. More difficult to lose the weight, but not impossible. And it's the same process for quitting smoking. Small baby steps. We don't have to, lose 20 pounds in a day. We don't have to do anything like that. It's, you know, we don't have to get up, throw all the food out the cupboards, replace it all with the healthiest foods, go out, run 20 miles all at once. Baby steps. Maybe one day, you know, we have one healthier meal. Maybe the next day we do a little bit of exercise, and it's about developing these habits. You know, I think I've said before that for me, quitting smoking wasn't the end of my journey. It wasn't like, right, that's done. It was the catalyst for developing lots and lots of new habits. And that did mean paying more attention to my diet. It did mean doing a bit more exercise. You know, it meant lots of things about my mental health. Why I said right at the start of the stream, as we quit smoking, we become different people. We sever our relationship to cigarettes and we find our freedom. And in that freedom, we're able to become the people we were always supposed to be, rather than the people we became as a result of one unhelpful decision to start smoking. At some point in our lives, we did. There's my alarm. That's getting. Now that that's been pointed out to me, that's going to be really distracting. For so long, we describe ourselves. I am a smoker. My life is defined by smoking, but it's not. We are not smokers. We are people who smoked for one period of our lives. You know, and even if you have to go back a long way, there is a point when you weren't a smoker, and there can be again. Again, cheap plug for the YouTube channel. I did make a video once called "You Are Not a Smoker." Even if you have a cigarette in your hand right this minute, you are not a smoker. Smoking is something that we do. It is not something that we are. Getting back to comments, I completely lost where I'm up to. Melissa Cheshire says, the anxiety is my main issue. My doctor refused to give you Chantix, a higher dose of Wellbutrin is. I wonder, Melissa, if the reason he didn't give you Chantix has anything to do with the current. They've been recalled due to a higher dose of something that, I think I've got this right, they're called nitrosamines, that do have some carcinogenic properties, but relatively harmless in small doses. I wonder if that might be it. Ben Kennedy, hi Chris, Ben from Cape Town. Hi Ben, how is life in Cape Town? I've never been to Cape Town, but I've seen pictures of it. It looks like an absolutely beautiful place. Hope life is good for you over there. I was 5 when I started smoking. I don't have much time not smoking. But even still, you know, those were 4 years when you were able to deal with life without smoking. You know, and there can be again. It's never. That's the thing. Even if we've been smoking for our entire lives, it is still never too late to start a new life and to get that second chance and to get that freedom. We are, none of us, not a single one of us, is a lost cause. No matter how hard we may find it, no matter how hopeless we may find the quit smoking process, no matter what we've tried in the past, none of us are lost causes. There is a lady that sometimes comments on my YouTube channel, and we have a really good conversation about quitting smoking and how it affects different people. And I agree with almost everything that she says, but the one thing she'll sometimes say to me is, you know, some people are just, they're never going to do it. They're never going to be able to quit smoking because it is so deeply entrenched in them. And I just don't believe in my core that that is true. And I don't say this to, I don't say this as some kind of vague motivational pep talk of like, you know, you can do it no matter what. I genuinely believe that we are all capable. Because yes, you know, smoking can be addictive. You know, people overcome addictions, and none of us are any different than any. We all have, as I was saying earlier about the survey thing, we all have these myriad of circumstances and situations and life experiences and health things going on with us, which will influence, why my quit's going to be different from yours, why Melissa's quit's going to be different from the other Melissa's quit, why Neve's quit's going to be different from Michelle's quit. But just because they're all different doesn't mean they can't be done. Melissa says that's my fear. And again, those, fear is such a huge thing that holds so many of us back when it comes to quitting smoking. If I quit smoking, I'll have to live life without cigarettes. When you quit smoking, you will be able to live life without cigarettes. If I quit smoking and it is hard, I will fail and this will be bad. If you quit smoking and you pick up a cigarette again, it is a learning experience. Jamie Heinzer, hi Chris, appreciate what you do. Been trying for 2 years, saying this is my final cigarette about twice a month. No illusion of any B in it, and know it purely addiction. No illusion. Oh, there you go. No illusion of any pleasure, and know it's purely addiction. I think my confidence fails me. Absolutely. I can relate to that experience. I had so many times of going, this is it, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys before, but I'm going to now. During that final year when I quit smoking, sometime between doing those Chantix videos and starting this channel properly, I was out somewhere and I was trying to quit. I'd done like a couple of days and I was out somewhere and I bought some cigarettes and I started smoking them. And on the way home from my day out, we passed the place where my granddad was buried. And I went up and I spent some time at my granddad's grave. And I left the cigarettes on his grave. And I wasn't littering, although somebody might have gone, that guy's just dropped his cigarettes. I was trying to make it like a symbolic thing. I spoke to my granddad and I said, look, with all due respect, I'm going to live a longer life than you did. Not like her granddad, fuck you, I'm going to live longer. It was a way to help myself. I was like, granddad, I'm going to, promise you I'm going to live a long, healthy life. I'm going to leave these cigarettes with you. And that to me, I was like, well, now I've done this, I can't possibly smoke again. And yet I still did. And it was, to be fair, I think it was either the next day or a couple of days later, I had my last cigarette puking up in the kitchen. But I can totally relate to that thing of, keep saying, this is it, this is it, this is it. And eventually this is it. I'm just going to say hello to Golden Child, salute to you. Hope you're doing well. I'm so glad that you are with us. In terms of confidence, there is so much, that we can do with confidence. Jamie, I want to say to you, if confidence is lacking because it's, I don't know if I can do this. I will never say quitting smoking is going to be the hardest thing you've ever had to do. But at some point in your life, something was the hardest thing you've ever had to do. And you did it. You got through it. You are here to tell the tale. And that means, that if you can do that, if you can get through the hardest thing you've ever had to do, you can get through this process. There are so many things in even small things or big things in your life that you will have achieved. And all of those things add up to show you that you are capable of doing this. And later down the line, you'll be able to look back and go, do you know what? Quitting smoking is really tough, but I did it anyway. And because I did it anyway, I can take on a new, bigger challenge and keep going. Lovely. Handing over the cigs at the grave. It felt really important to me at the time, and I don't beat myself up about having another cigarette afterwards, because I think genuinely that did stick with me. Right, like I said, it wasn't that I did this and then kept smoking for months. It was like a day or two later, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm definitely done now, and I'll never forget that. Jamie, let me read your message, mate. Exactly what gets me. It always needs to feel like a triumphant moment, and then it gets me. Then legit, the next day I pull some excuse out of my ass. Yeah. There's so much tea in this cup. It just keeps going. Yeah. What was I about to say? Oh, about this triumphant moment of like, yes, I am done. We can romanticize that final cigarette and build it up into something huge. And the more we build up this last cigarette into something huge, the more we come at quitting from a place of lack, from a place of sacrifice, from a place of I am giving something up. I am losing out on something. And I think even if, even subconsciously at some level, that's going to stick with us. That's going to, play on our minds of like, oh my God, I'm giving something up here. And I think one way we can maybe counter that is just to casually get rid of that last cigarette. Not to build it up as this big romantic thing, just to casually, okay, well, I've had that cigarette. Not to even tell ourselves that was my last cigarette, that was just a cigarette. There is nothing special about that. There is nothing special about the last cigarette. It is just a cigarette, the same as all the thousands of others that you've probably smoked in the past. There's no magical qualities to it. Any significance, around that last cigarette, we place on that cigarette. Just normalize it, or at best, if that's not working, to be having that final cigarette and be thinking, thank goodness I am done with this. This is not, oh my God, this is some triumphant moment. This is just, thank goodness I don't have to do this anymore. Mind over matter, absolutely. Sabina, hello from Italy. Hello, Sabina. How are you? I'm so glad you could join us from Italy. How is Italy? And more importantly, how are you and how is your weekend? Melissa says, agreed, Jamie. I set my mind to do no more starting tomorrow. Just end up crying in the store buying more. Yeah. Like I said, let go of these. There is nothing in this. This is like saying, okay, let's get these two post-it notes. These two post-it notes are identical in the way that two cigarettes are identical. And I don't smoke a post-it note. I use this post-it note and then I throw it away and I think nothing more of it. And then I go, well, I've only got one post-it note left, and this post-it note is really important, and I need to really savor the moment of using the post-it note, and then the post-it note is gone. No, there is no difference between that and that. It's just post-it notes. They're just cigarettes. On a coffee table's lit with post-it notes. And Italy is so crazy right now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What about living as if? Oh, sorry. I'm going to go back. I've missed a few, I think. How do Chris? How do Scott? How's it going, mate? I hope life is being kind to you. Hope you're doing well. I'll answer Jamie's question. Then I'll come back to you, Nevi. Sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. Was there a time where you got through a hard time as a smoker, but failed after that moment? As an example, I had no trouble getting off antidepressants, but still failed at stopping. Jamie, are you asking, do you mean as a smoker or as a someone who was quitting smoking, because I can think of, realistically, smoking should be easy to quit, but it's the mind game you play with yourself. Yeah, I had no trouble getting off antidepressants, but still failed at stopping smoking. Oh, sorry, right, I totally understand what you mean now. Um, yeah, I got through, a drink problem as a smoker, and I got through depression as a problem, and I got through grief and loss, mental health problems. I got divorced. That was really troubling. I got through so many different things, and yeah, quitting smoking was still tough. But again, I could go through that and go, do you know what? I got divorced, and I survived, and I was okay, and it was tough, and I got through it. It doesn't necessarily mean that, just because it's not necessary. When I say about, because we got through one difficult thing, we can always get through another. It's not that necessarily the same skills. It's that intangible quality, that inner strength, that inner resolve, that inner motivation that is within us. I hope that makes a little more sense. Maybe that's something I need to talk about a bit more. Right, okay. Yeah, so Sabina says Italy's crazy right now. I'm sorry to hear that. Is that due to the pandemic? I hope not. Hopefully this whole thing goes away at some point. What about living as if and exploring the idea rather than the big moments? Make it ordinary. Better approach. I think so. I think that can definitely, be helpful. People talk about, fake it till you make it. I don't necessarily like that, because I think if we try and fake it, we know that we're faking it. But living as if is absolutely going to be helpful, and definitely give that a go. Even if there are still cigarettes in our lives, try and approach a situation and go, well, what would I do in this situation as a non-smoker? And then try it. And yeah, rather than the big moment, make it ordinary. Yeah, like I said, just if we build up quitting smoking as this huge thing, it's going to be terribly intimidating for us. Always awesome, Italy, but always awesome. We are so scared. I'm so sorry to hear that. There's so much fear in the world and so much pain. I absolutely feel it. Yeah. Realistically, smoking should be easy to quit, but it's the mind game you play with yourself. Absolutely. It's why we were talking earlier about how, mindset is the most critical thing. I can make videos all day, I can write all the books, there can be a million and one things that we can do, but a lot of it is up here. And that's not to, I made the video, is quitting smoking all in your head? Well, yes and no. If you're craving, if you've got withdrawals, if you're tearing your hair out, that is not all in your head. That is a real physical feeling, and it feels crap. But the key to quitting is, that sense of, no matter how badly this goes, I'm going to do this anyway. In 2011, I had one cigarette and blunt left. And I had to ask TMH to take that craving away from me. I will never smoke again. Now it's 2021. I've been sober minded and feeling awesome. Excellent. That's a very long time for you then. Congratulations, Golden Child. Keep up the good work. I am absolutely certain that's going to be an inspiration to a lot of people. Jan, I like the breathing technique. So helpful. I'm so glad you do. I've been thinking about doing more breathing technique videos. I always say, my favorite breathing technique, I always call it the 4-4-4-4 technique, pretty much because I just like going 4-4-4, but it's really called the box breathing technique. It's, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, that box thing. I learned another one, and it's somebody on a CPD course I did for hypnotherapy. Somebody was telling me if you exhale for longer than you inhale, it actually has a better therapeutic benefit. So if you've got to breathe in for 4, then you breathe out for 7, something like that. I'll figure that out. I'll do another video on it. More questions from Jamie and Montana. Jamie, let's get to you. Just from your experience, Chris, is it better to get to the point where we don't need cigarettes and then stop, or stop and discover through experience, being a non-smoker, it's better not to smoke? I mean, we're already, all of us, at a point where we don't need cigarettes. We don't, if you want to look at it that way, we don't need them. We will use them because we develop this addiction, this craving. All we need, literally the only thing that we need cigarettes for, is to get rid of the anxiety and the stress caused by the last cigarette. I would say stop. Is it better to get to the point where we don't need cigarettes and then stop? Because if you're, I think I get what you're getting at, Jamie. If we're using cigarettes to cope with life or to get through situations, there are always going to be situations. There is never going to be a perfect time to quit smoking. Something's always going to happen. I think it's more about, let's quit smoking and then learn how to deal with life as a non-smoker, which can be tricky, but again can be done, and there's so much proof out there that we can get through without cigarettes. Did that answer your question, Jamie? I hope so. Montana asks, what do I like to do to relax or get away from cigarettes? Well, I don't need to get away from cigarettes now, so I just relax. I have a very comfortable setup here on my pillows and my blankets. I'm very comfortable. So I sometimes like to just chill out here, or maybe burn some incense and listen to some relaxing music. I have my guitar over there. I was just playing that earlier. I'm not a great guitar player, but I don't need to be, because for me it's not about being being Jimi Hendrix. It's about when I'm just strumming idly a few chords. That feels nice and relaxing. Bizarrely, one thing that relaxes me is running. I find it gets all my endorphins going. It helps me to feel good. After I've been for a run, my legs may hurt, but I feel this sense of, I can just lay back here now and chill out. So many things. I like to just go for a walk, taking photographs. Again, I don't necessarily consider myself a photographer. And it's, so many different things that we can do to relax. For me, running and playing music, listening to music, those are things that I like to do. If I'm ever stressed out, or if I'm working and everything's busy, I'll get on it and do that. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to stick around for about 5 more minutes. I've got somewhere else I need to be this evening. So if there's any more questions, comments, anything you'd like me to touch upon before I say farewell, speak now or forever hold your peace, at least until next month's live stream. Those of you who got here a little late into the proceedings, I'm just going to repeat something that I said earlier. When I was planning for yesterday's video, I was struck by this idea of, some people find quitting smoking ridiculously easy, some people find it ridiculously hard, and I'm really curious about why that is. So I am going to put together a survey and ask you guys to fill it in for me about your quit experiences, so that I can hopefully try and understand a bit better why some people find it easy and don't. So I wanted to ask you, if I did that, would you fill it in? I'll make a video about it. It'll be in Finding Freedom and all the other places. Neely says, thank you for a great first live chat. Oh, Neely, it's your first. Yeah, it is your first live chat. Of course it is. And I'm so glad that you're finally able to join us. And I hope you found this helpful, or, just helped you pass the time a little bit. Neely, as I promised, my next video will be a walkthrough of how to best use Quit Smoking and Be Happy. And I will put in Finding Freedom, I will put the article that I mentioned, which is about preparing to quit smoking. Okay. Appreciate you. Good seeing you, Chris. Have a great month. You too, Veronica. I hope you have a wonderful month. It's always so pleased to see you. Melissa says, hey there. Thanks for everything, Chris. What are your weekend plans before I go? Well, my Saturday is winding down. I've had a good day today working on growing my hypnotherapy practice, coming and seeing you. Once I get done from here, I have a hot date with a wonderful woman, so I'm very excited about that. I do hope she likes me. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Then tomorrow I am running a half marathon. It's my first half marathon race in 2 years. So that's, big weekend for me. I have a hot date and I have a run. I'm very excited. So that's me. And then after I get done then after the run, I'm going out for a meal for my mum's birthday. So that's my weekend plans. Big weekend. I need to get a Finding Freedom mug and stop the adverts for that sports. Absolutely. Do you know, I didn't even think about adverts. It's just, I needed tea and this was the only cup clean in my cupboard. I'm such a disaster. I'm going to get it. I've got to get Finding Freedom mugs. I am. Let's do that. Yeah, thanks, Michelle. That's a really good idea. Yes. Yeah, I promise you, this video is not sponsored by Sports Direct. It's just the only bloody cup that I have. Melissa says, I'll definitely do a survey. Golden Child, good stuff to you. Neely, go get it. Oh, I will go get it. Like I said, hope keep everything crossed that she likes me. Good luck on your date and your run. Woohoo, have fun. She will love you. I don't know about that. I hope she does though. Fingers crossed on the girl. Amazing about the half marathon. Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You can help out with mugs. Excellent. Send them this way. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up two couple of. Oh, sorry, Jamie. I'm going to reply to Jamie's comment. Then I've got a few things I want to wrap up with, and then we'll get going. Saying a lot of facts and giving too much of a persona to cigarettes is not just putting to back up my ideal self as a non-smoker. I add too many other things to the mix. Absolutely, I have the ideal self exercise on YouTube and on my website that may help with that, Jamie. Getting, recognizing my ideal self is not a smoker. Thanks for everything. Get more involved in future streams. Big help. Perfect. Couple of quick plugs before I go. I know I spent most of the video plugging this. It is my book. It is called no, it's not called Finding Freedom, is it? It's called Quit Smoking and Be Happy. Available in print and ebook form. If you have read it, you enjoyed it, please do leave a comment. Our group is facebook.com/group/findingfreedom1. You'll find a link in pretty much any video that I've ever done apart from the live streams. There is this amazing community of people at all different stages of their journey, helping each other out, celebrating successes, and sticking up for each other when things don't go well. I also want to give a shout out to our moderator, Vicky, who couldn't make it today. But Vicky does such an awesome job looking after us and keeping that group in check. So I really appreciate Vicky. As she already knows that. Thank you, bye. Have a good time, guys. I'm going to get out of here. My lady awaits. So I will see you next time. See you next. Oh, before I go, next live stream, October the 30th. There's already a link for it already. I kind of made a mess of that before, but I'm going to go now. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot.